Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and for children with bad parents. Adult language will be used, and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy, another installment. On today's installment, I have
Ethan
and
Jarrett.
I was hoping Jarrett would say say his
well, you
name
were
whenever
looking
I
at
looked.
me,
I know,
yeah.
but I was hoping he would still jump in and say it.
I was under pressure.
Under pressure. Stop. Not too much. All right, so today's episode, we are going to talk about the D&D starter kit, and what I mean by that is, what all do you actually need to start playing D&D?
Yeah, not the actual starter kit.
No, we are going to talk about that. That's
Oh,
on
we
here.
are?
Yes, because
Oh,
it's
neat.
it's a thing of should you buy the starter kit.
Oh, I see it now.
I think it's generally useful.
Did you know that there's a second starter kit?
Yes, I own it. It's the Essentials
do you?
kit.
No. I mean, like, they've changed the story for the starter kit.
Oh, I think I did know that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they updated Lost Mines of Phandelver.
Yep.
Yeah, my nephew has that, and they've been wanting me to try it out, but I haven't done it yet. You got a last Christmas. I'm really terrible uncle.
Let's jump into what is actually essential for you to play D&D.
Something to roll with.
Literally almost nothing.
Yeah, something to roll with. Obviously, you can look up a dice roller online. You can use D&D Beyond because it's free. You can get actual dice if
Actual
that's
dice,
the
yeah.
route you wanted to go.
The acrylic ones aren't expensive.
Like $5.
No, yeah, I think the
Maybe
ones
less.
I bought were $7 at the time.
Yeah.
They can be hard to find sometimes, but usually like some bookstores will have them.
Yeah. Or generally like,
I miss Hastings. Hastings used to have.
God, Hastings.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know why they went out of business because I traded a video game in and got the same video game back, like just for a different console. So they obviously weren't making any money off of me.
Right.
But generally you can also just go on like Amazon and buy like a
Yeah,
10 set bulk pack for like,
They don't weigh a lot, so the shipping isn't much.
and if you buy 15 other things on Amazon, like most people do, you get free shipping.
Yeah. If you have Prime.
You don't even have to have Prime to get. I get free shipping on everything because I order just enough shit. I wait until I have like a bunch of shit in my cart.
I don't want to wait.
I do. I don't care. So, let's see. Jump right into this. Should you buy the starter kit? There's three different starters.
yeah, I feel like you're probably not going to be able to find the OG starter kit anymore.
You can, because I found it, but I think it's a digital version only.
Probably.
I think you buy it on D&D Beyond, and it gives you access to the digital version of the starter kit, which has a story. It has,
6 pre-gens?
I think, 5.
5, I can't
I want to say it's 5 because it's made for up to 6 people.
Yeah.
One is the DM. There is a new starter set, which is, I believe, Lost Mines of Phandelver. Is that?
Well, that's the same story. They probably just tweaked it.
No. It's Dungeons and Dragons Stormwreck Isle is the starter set. That's the newest one that is
I
out.
haven't seen
It's
that one.
Dragons of Stormwreck Isle.
I haven't seen that one then.
Yes, that is the new one out. It is $20 at Target because I'm looking it up right now. It's a 48-page adventure booklet with everything you need to get started. It has a 32-page rule book for playing characters of level 1 to 3 because that's what the starter kits are. I believe the Lost Mines of Phandelver is the same. It's levels 1 to 3, correct?
I think it might be 1 to 4. I don't remember.
They're
though.
probably the most likely you could do them in a one shot.
That's essentially what this is. Like, if you don't know what you want to play, because it comes with pre-made characters, 5 ready-to-play characters, each with a character sheet. I can't tell you which characters they are because it doesn't say on
It'll
here.
generally be like a fighter and a rogue and a...
Yeah, it's going to be your generic, like
Yeah.
easiest to play,
Wizard and a cleric, usually.
probably. It also comes with 6 dice. I find that funny because then you're passing the dice around to everybody if you're doing it that way. But you can buy this on D&D Beyond as well, and then play through it on there.
Well, some DMs roll everything themselves, which I don't like,
true.
but
Yeah.
I mean, some people do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. So there's that as an option. They have 2 different versions. They have the Lost Mines of Phandelver, which I again believe you can buy on D&D Beyond. I will look that up kind of while we're talking about it. And then the other item is there's an essential kit.
Mm-hmm.
So Jarrett, I know you had bought that. Why don't you tell me what that is?
Well, it's very similar, I believe. I mean, I don't even remember. We never used it. I just like collecting the stuff to like,
Yeah.
in case I ever want to gift it or whatever. But essentially I believe it has 10 dice. It has 46 2d10s, and then your other one ofs, I believe, might have an extra d20 in there. I don't remember.
That's how almost all the older like acrylic dice sets used to be.
Yeah. So if you go to dnd.wizards.com, they actually have a products page, and then it has a where to start section. If you click on where to start, it has the D&D starter set that I was just talking about, and it gives you several options of where to buy. Amazon, Target, Roll20, actually, and D&D Beyond are the 4 options I've seen. And then there's the Essentials Kit, which I'm pulling up right now so I can tell us. It's got Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Fantasy Grounds. Apparently it's on Steam, and Roll20. So it comes with, I'm not going to watch this video, it's $25. Looks like it comes with a map, some characters, a DM screen, and then a book, basically.
The DM screen is nice, though.
Yes,
it's
the
really
DM
nice.
screen is nice. And you can just buy that outright as well. That's enough to get you started if you want to try it and just say, hey, I want to figure out what D&D's kind of like. It'll take you through levels 1 to 3.
Low investment cost. It doesn't, $20-25.
Yeah.
If you have a group that's new to it, you're new to DMing, either one of those things or both, it's really great to pick up because it's going to help you learn how to DM. It's going to help you learn how to play. It makes it very simple.
Yeah. And
It gives everything to you.
it hand over hand, just here, and it gives you the story to follow. It's much easier than trying to go through and make it on your own if everybody is new.
I wouldn't say it's necessary because we didn't start out with that, but
But you had played D&D before.
Yeah.
I mean,
different versions. But I mean, it's not necessary, but it is helpful.
yes.
Especially if you're getting kids into D&D.
Yes.
It's very nice to have because there's it's a really nice gift for like a Christmas gift or something like that. If they're wanting to get into D&D or you are, or you're wanting to get your family into it, it can be really good.
I thought about buying my cousin it for Christmas this year after I seen how cheap it was. And I was like, oh, well, that's not bad. Why not? But I don't think his mom and dad would let him. I don't know that they wouldn't let him play, but I don't think he would have enough involvement to play. If that makes sense. I don't think enough of his friends and him would want to play.
I didn't think you guys would like it, but you did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a big part of that is it was made fun. I can't advocate for the starter kit or the essentials kit because I don't know how fun that story is as a brand new person.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not necessarily just the game either. It's also a really good excuse to spend time with friends.
Yeah, just to hang out.
Yeah.
Just to hang out.
And I think that's kind
Or
of how
family.
Yeah.
Or family.
I think that's kind of how it started. I mean, if you do like a family game night, wouldn't be bad to bring this in and do it.
Give it a go.
Yeah. Do you need any books?
Post, if you buy the starter kit or the essentials kit and like really like it, I would recommend picking up the PHB.
Yeah. The 2 that I would downright absolutely recommend if you're going to play outside of a starter's kit and need something to help with your story is the Player's Handbook and the Monster Manual.
Yeah, those are the 2 that I
Very useful.
Yeah.
You need those. You generally just for stat blocks, and if you want to play different subclasses of the classes, you have to have the PHB to play those.
If you're not wanting to dump money into it, though, there are free online things that have most of the information from either one of those in it.
Like Wiki.
Wikidot has a lot of the stuff from the PHB in it.
Yeah. And Monster Manual and everything. I mean, you can look up everything.
Pretty well everything.
The Dungeon Master Guide, you can.
The books are really handy
It's
to have
not
if you're playing at
100
a table, though.
I think if you're going to give out a lot of
Magic items?
Yeah, magic items, it's better.
That's the bare minimum, or the bare minimum, but the really the only thing I would ever use it for anymore.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff in there has now been either redone or revamped or whatever in other books, and I just find it to be less useful
If you're
every year.
if you enjoy DMing and you're wanting to take it a little bit deeper, the DMG is very useful. It has like
If you wanted to do that.
has a lot of tools like for traps and stuff in there, and that they can help you learn how to do it, or at least help you learn how to like improvise certain things. It's very nice.
Yeah. But it's not a necessity
No.
at all. And realistically, even the player's handbook, monster manual is not a necessity either.
No.
If
Up to a certain point.
I guess one of the biggest things is you need to decide if you're going to play in person or online,
Yeah.
because that determines where you buy it and where you look
Yeah.
at it and everything like that.
True.
If you
So,
buy it.
Yeah.
And like tools like Roll20 have a lot of the information on there as well.
Or
Yep.
Fantasy Grounds or any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to play in those, especially if you're playing in a campaign, like a campaign book,
Yeah.
you got to usually end up buying that stuff on
Well,
there.
and that's the difference. You have to decide, do you want to play from a campaign, one of the storyline books, because there's a ton of those
Yeah.
out.
So if you're playing online, it's also really nice to buy this stuff virtually on D&D Beyond, because you can set up a campaign on there and share it
Yeah.
with all your party members or anybody that's wanting to play or that you like that you want to be able to share that with.
Yep.
It's really nice.
And all they have to do is make a character in that campaign and go from there. And they can see all that stuff. So the other thing is there is a ton of players' races that aren't in the player's handbook.
Yeah.
Starting off, you don't really need those
No.
as a starter. After you've played and you enjoy it a little bit more, it's probably important. Like you would want to grab those books that have that added availability, or at least tell your players like, hey, this is what's available to you.
Well, I would say make sure you're giving the base game a try with the PHB and the Monster Manual.
Absolutely.
Give it a try first before you buy, because if you buy all the books, it's a big investment.
Yes.
Especially now.
Yeah,
Because there's so many books.
When we started, it was a much. There was 6 books, I think.
Yeah,
And even then, the other ones were just,
Adventure books. It
yeah.
was the 3 main
There
ones.
was
and
3 adventure books, and then the player's handbook, DMG, and monster manual.
if you are wanting to buy extra books, there are a couple that aren't essential to playing the game, but they're going to help a lot. I would say Tasha's Cauldron of Everything
Yes.
and Xanathar's.
Guide to Everything.
Yeah.
Are both
Both
very-
of those are good as far as adding content without
Yeah.
adding story.
Yeah, they changed a
guess-
few of the mechanics too, which is really helpful because some of the base mechanics in the PHB are a little wonky. But having the PHB is definitely useful, especially for the spells.
Yeah.
So in the back of the book, there's a list of all the spells, who gets the spells, and then it has the explanation of what the spells do and
what
how
they
to
do.
use them.
Yeah.
But the other 2 are Xanathar's and Tasha's.
Yep.
Yeah. And those are really, if you have the player's handbook, Xanathar's, Tasha's, you get most, if not all, of the races and
There's a well, no. If you do now,
the
if you
Sword
do the,
Coast.
Sword Coast, yeah.
if you do the Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse, that has all of the races. So now you can just buy. If you want just the races, you don't care about the feats, the spells, whatever,
The classes.
the classes, the subclasses. You can just buy that, and that
Just buy
has
Mordenkainen's.
every race in there. Now.
Gotcha.
So adding Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus they have extra monsters in there, which are a lot of fun to use.
It's also it's a better. It's like it also has like a bunch of
Xanathar's has a few monsters in it
monsters,
too.
but it has one. It combines basically the bestiaries from both those books and the race part of them into like one book essentially.
Yeah. And I know we talked about this before. There's been changes to the races, and Mordekainen's is the most updated
Yeah,
to
the
those
most-
races.
I totally forgot about Mordenkainen's.
I did too until he was talking about. I was like, oh yeah, they did do that.
Yeah. And so they changed a lot of that stuff. I can't remember what the actual word
Well,
for it.
basically they eroded it.
No,
That is the word for it. But yeah,
what it says on like D&D Beyond if you're looking at the races.
legacy.
Yeah, legacy.
They made a bunch of the old stuff legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it says legacy, that's the older version. Not saying you can't use that
Yeah.
if you look at D&D Beyond, because I think you can. No, you have to have access to the books too.
I would avoid Legacy Ranger and Original Ranger. That's really the only thing from the Legacy that I would say avoid entirely.
Yeah.
The other books that they've put out are mostly adventure books.
Yeah, or campaign, or not campaign. What's the word I'm looking for? World books.
Yeah. So like
setting books. That's what I was looking for. Setting books.
Yeah.
So like Strahd's is a really famous one, and
Which we
Out
actually
of the,
It has both.
Out of the Abyss.
Yes, an adventure and a setting book.
Yeah. Those are really good, especially if you're really not wanting to build your own campaign.
If you're not knowing where to go, those adventure books and setting books are better to look at.
They're really fun. We don't tend to use them strictly because they can be really a lot of study material.
It's a lot of prep work you generally have to do.
Yes.
But if you're not like, I don't want to like create my own thing, they're very useful. They're very fun.
It's like a bigger version of the starter kit without the classes given to you.
I've always wanted to run Out of the Abyss, but I just don't know if I want
to take the time to do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of study.
Yep. So that takes us into how many dice do you need? All of them. Get them all.
As many as you can physically buy.
Buckets.
So literally, Jared has a bucket.
A bucket.
Jared has a bucket.
I have probably enough to fill up a second bucket. Or
Probably.
start a second bucket at least.
So realistically, what you need is a D20, you need at least one of each.
Yeah.
And you could get by without having one of each, honestly, depending on your class and things like that.
Yeah.
But
I might suggest, like, just for play, if you're going to be seriously playing, 2d20, one to use while the other one is in timeout.
Or for
advantage and disadvantage.
For advantage. That's what I said. A D12, because most of the rest of the dice are for damage dealing.
Yeah.
A D12, 2d10 for percentile die.
Yeah.
You roll two of them. One is the tens place, one is the ones place. And then 2d8, 4d6, and I would say 4d4.
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to just have something so that you don't have to keep like re-rolling dice all the time.
So what Ethan said is buy 4 sets of dice.
Basically.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Absolutely.
And what comes in a standard set of dice is you get a D20, a D12, you get 2 D10, a D8, a D6, and a D4.
Yeah.
Typically.
That's your 7 die set.
You can buy some, like one in particular that I bought that came with a D20, D12, 2 D10, a D8, and they came with 46.
Yeah, that's a 10 set.
Yeah, and a D4.
Yeah.
And I mean, that one's nice. I like that because it helped with rolling for stats and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
4 is like generally just because that's your stats. That's half a fireball.
Yeah.
It's a very nice number. Just like 4, 4, 4.
Yep. But it's not a necessity.
No,
You can
it's not.
take one and roll it
Yeah.
as many times as you need.
It'll just take longer.
Yes,
You really only need one of each.
exactly. I guess for movement, which is something that we never really talked about in any of the
No.
episodes, I don't think. When we first started playing, we did not use a distance map. It was all kind of,
Theater of
Theater of
mind.
mind.
yeah, theater of mind of like, okay, well,
And there's
like we had a table and we had minis and we put them out and it was like, well, can I make it to them? Yeah, you can make it to them.
Yeah,
Or
it's-
no, you make it 10 feet short or something like that, basically.
there's nothing wrong with it. It just puts a lot of more mental onus on the DM of like trying to
Trying to figure out how
remember
far
at
they
distances
think.
and stuff like that.
Theater of mind can be really good.
Yeah.
It can
I
actually
think it
be,
helped us a lot.
And we do like sometimes like a both. Like
Yeah.
if it's not like a serious combat where I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we do that on Roll20 sometimes
Yeah.
too. And it's theater of mind just means that you're just imagining it instead
Yeah.
of actually having like a board to play on.
yeah,
Yep.
It can be really good. It's actually sometimes preferable.
yeah. In certain situations, it's
I think it helped me at the start, at least. I don't know if it helped you or
It can-
anybody else that was at the table, but
In a lot of ways, it can help make the world feel larger. You're not putting constraints on where you're at, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it lets somebody imagine it instead of having it put in your mind.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between reading a book and watching a movie.
So-
a lot of times the movie puts constraints on things where the book allows you to,
imagine
imagine how something looks and sounds. And
yeah.
so a movement map, I guess, or distance map, however you want to
battle
explain
map,
it,
whatever.
it is either a square, rectangle, however it's set up. It could be a circle even.
Generally, it's either going to be
A square or rectangle.
well. There's going to be no. Your maps are going to be. Are you talking about the actual?
I'm
like,
talking about the actual like shape of the map.
Sure. Yeah. It can. Yeah. It'd be square rectangle. Yeah.
And each section, so it'll either be squares or it will be
hexes.
Yeah, hexes. And each circle is basically 5 foot of movement.
Yeah.
So if you were to use that map, which again we just said it's not a necessity, you can do.
It's not a necessity, but
it helps.
It just generally lets the DM not worry about it as much.
Yeah.
You could even play it into the story like, it's like, where is everything? And it's like, well, you don't know because you don't have a map. So they have to go find a map. They have to buy a map.
Yeah.
And then once they buy the map, you can hand it out. So you can even play it into the game a lot.
Yeah.
Could be nice.
It does help. But the movement map also helps if you have a lot of characters that have different speeds.
Different speeds and like spell effects. It just
spell effects is probably the biggest one.
Like rangers and stuff. And because like if they're going through the mountains, they might have difficult terrain a lot of times.
Yeah.
So they would have their movement, but that's really hard to imagine without having something to see.
Without having an actual distance of where they've traveled. So then you also need character sheets. And there's a plethora of different character sheets.
Go online. You can find specific class ones. You can find.
Yep.
I usually find mine in Jared's printer.
Yeah.
Same.
We have, we currently use, I just print out a version of More Purple, More Better's character sheet, which is an automated character sheet in Adobe PDF or Adobe.
I think it's PDF.
No, Adobe Reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really use the automated feature of it very much anymore because it was a lot of stuff for me to keep up with.
Yeah.
I generally just use it for if a character wants their spell sheet, generally. That's generally what I use it for. But we use it because it has expertise bubbles on it, and you can sort the skills by their actual stat.
Yeah. You could just line it out all on notebook paper.
Yeah, you can use notebook paper.
Oh, yeah.
Printer paper, whatever you want, with pen, pencil, whatever you want. You could do that. I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
If
like
you've
OG back in the day.
Yeah.
If you've bought the books on D&D Beyond, you can create your character entirely on there and just you can have it pulled up on your phone, you can have it pulled up on a computer, tablet, whatever you have, you can run it through that way. And it's up to you how you want it to look. I've seen Dicebox that have the character sheet on it, and you can it was fancy.
I have one.
Do you?
The acrylic one?
I don't know if it's the acrylic one or
That's what I have.
I just seen it the other day, and it had it had a ton of stuff on it that I was like, that's way too fancy. I don't need that.
I had an acrylic top for a dice box that I just used for spell sheet tracking.
Oh, no, not this. That's not what I'm talking about. This was an actual it was a wooden thing that changed. You had it would roll with the spells. Was one of the wizard one.
That is way more complicated.
It was way too complicated. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So next up is minis. Do you need minis to start?
No.
You have to use your imagination if you're not going to have many to start.
Yeah. Remember that bucket of dice?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely what we did.
Good use for those extra dice you aren't using. Just using them as enemies.
That's how we started. We used dice.
Yep.
It was, I'm this D4 and he's that D4 and he's that D6 and like that. That's how we started.
Yep. But if you want to buy minis, Hero Forge, if you want personalized character minis.
Oh, it's fun.
It's
you lose hours.
You can lose hours on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you just want some generic random goobers for enemies, you can go you can go on a miniature market and buy a brick of random
you
enemies.
Can find them in a lot of places.
Or you can go on Amazon and look them up.
If you have a store near you, a lot of times they'll carry basic miniatures.
And sometimes they won't be painted, and you can paint them yourself. Yeah. Sometimes they will be painted.
If you like painting.
If not, just leave it fucking blank.
I'm not.
Yep.
I think all of my minis that I've made on Hero Forge are blank. One of them.
Yeah, now you can actually get them color printed.
They're not even hardly any more expensive. They're like $10 more.
Yeah. And there's so much you can add on Hero Forge. It's so great. Yeah. The biggest thing about, is it D&D versus physical version?
D&D Beyond versus the physical?
D&D Beyond versus the physical version, sorry. I know there was talks whenever Wizards bought. Didn't they buy D&D Beyond?
They did. And boy, do I have some good news for you.
Okay.
So apparently, this is just off the latest book release, which is Dragonlance. Pre-order it for $60.
Yeah.
You get a digital And the physical.
Okay, that was going to be my question, was if you got both, because I know there was a lot of talks of if you were to buy one, they were going to try to give a code for to where you get the digital release, which is great.
I feel like they're going to be doing that with all future books too.
Yeah. And they should. And I think they should. I know it's hard to, you can't say retroactive. Like,
it's very
you can't
hard.
retroactively do it.
It'd be hard.
But if anybody was to buy a player's handbook,
now
they should be able to get a code.
It should be.
Yes. So hopefully they can work on that and get that started. That way you don't feel like you're wasting your time. The other thing is, if you have internet access, not everybody has internet access.
Yeah.
I mean, so could be one of those things that you have to have the physical book.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you and your party and how you need to do that. Some people like reading it from a book versus reading it online.
It's very handy at a table just to have the books on hand.
It is, because then you can just throw it to somebody and they can start flipping through.
I think we
so
have
that
3 copies.
It feels
of
awkward
PS3.
with everyone sitting at the table trying to look something up on their phone.
Yeah. And sometimes, as great as D&D Beyond is, if you just search it, it takes a while to load. It takes a long time to
figure
load.
to find it.
Yeah. I think finding it's easier, honestly.
Sometimes if you're not specific enough,
Yeah.
it's just hard to find. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Because I think I could have that gift of alacrity that we talked about in a previous episode. I searched that up.
Yeah.
Well, I literally went to search. I could have found it faster had I went to spells and found it that way. Yeah. Like, I know I could have, but
I know exactly where it's at. So I'm like,
yeah.
I can just go to the book, to the spells, and be like, there it is, boom.
So is there anything that you guys think we may have missed as far as a starter kit? I mean, I know we talked about
Pencils.
Oh yeah, I guess you need some sort of
you
writing.
get some good pencils.
Yeah, don't.
Because guess
don't
what?
buy
Somebody's
number
gonna
twos.
fucking steal 'em.
Get the mechanicals.
I'm on the opposite team. I think you should just only buy number 2s because your fucking players will lose them.
But you have to sharpen them.
No, not number 2. I mean, like number 2 mechanicals.
Oh yeah. I mean, like the wooden ones.
Oh no, don't get.
Yeah, he was
don't-
talking about like old school wooden
No,
ones.
no.
Yeah,
This is
don't-
not a fucking bubble test. Just go buy you some Bics.
This is not a bubble test.
Yeah, go buy some Bics at your Dollar General, your Walmart, whatever.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Your players are assholes. They'll just fucking take them with them.
That's 100%.
Or lose them. I don't know where they went.
Grab a notebook, like
And
a
a
little notebook. Take some notes. Take notes because
Yeah.
it helps you remember things because you're not going to remember everything.
Yeah.
So much weird crap happens.
Have an idea of how you want to take your notes as well too. Because me, I just write shit down and then I struggle to find it, so I just stop taking notes.
Where is it?
That's 100% what happens.
That's what I do. If I take notes.
And then it makes me so mad. Now, there was a time where I had my iPad and I had like a notes thing on there. If I could go back and take that, I would use it and it would be so much better. Because I could like separate, like the note taking app that I had was amazing. And I could have separated things like names of people, where they're from, names of places, had it just designed better.
One of the things for DMing that we got that I like the most is having like a little dry erase board
Oh yeah.
Yes.
for initiative rolls
combat.
and combat,
Yeah.
so you can keep track, so you don't have to keep wasting paper and pencils on it.
You can just buy like a cheapo from your Dollar General or whatever, or you can go on like Amazon and they're like, there's like specific D&D ones that have like
Initiative lists,
lists and initiative name tags and stuff that are
Yeah.
pretty cheap.
I guess, which this ties into the pencils, buy some good erasers.
Yeah, you need
Because
good
you
erasers.
run through your erasers fast.
Yeah.
After 5 or 6 levels, you may have to replace your character
character sheets
sheet
because your health will just be like a gray blob,
or you'll have holes in
or
it.
you'll run through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we get to talk about the question, which is actually going to be 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have separated this and done it on one of them on a different episode, but guess
That's
what?
fine.
We're going to do it together. So the first one is, what character build or what is your favorite character that you appreciate from someone or somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it's not one that you made. It could be somebody that we made
Mm-hmm.
at the table. It could be somebody in media like Critical Role
Mm-hmm.
or anywhere else. Anybody got any ideas? Just off-
Yeah.
okay, shoot it.
So I got one for both, but yeah.
Okay, name
So
both.
The favorite character that I've ever DM'd for is Hagen.
I knew that.
Because it was the most interesting character I've ever had the pleasure.
Just a fighter.
Yeah, just a fighter.
Yeah, he wasn't just a fighter, but
He wasn't. Yeah, it's Hagen.
was Hagen.
And then my favorite character from like all of media is like Ford from Critical Role, because he just is like such a dynamic character to me.
Yeah.
He changes so much throughout the story.
Ethan, you got any?
At the table.
Also, I want to second the Hagen thing for at the table, because I mean, he was probably my favorite
I went
one.
first so I could steal the best answer.
He was probably the favorite one that I have been around.
I'm trying to think. At the table, just because
Have the fondest memories.
just because of what he did with the character, I thought was fun. It was Ryan's character, Royal, and eventually Royale.
I fucking hated that character. It's really good.
It
but
was
I
just
hated
hilarious.
It was funny.
just hilarious.
with the mustache.
Yeah, came back with a mustache after he was gone.
I, for one, say fuck Royale.
That's
You
Randall
stabbed
speaking.
him, so it's okay.
Yeah.
That's Randall speaking, sir.
Yep.
Calm down.
I don't know. It was just fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything special, like character wise. He played it.
He did. He played very
Fruit
well.
Loop was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
Fruit Loop was pretty fun. Do you got any from any of the media?
No,
Not really.
no. I mean, Scanlan.
Yeah.
That's obviously one of the best.
Scanlan's a good choice. Obviously, I've said at the table's Hagen, but from media, which I feel like this is unfair of me to say because I haven't really watched that much. I just see snippets,
There's a lot.
and there's a lot of snippets out there. Chetney,
Chetney's a fucking.
I fucking love.
Look,
He's hilarious.
I could go on for hours about Travis Willingham's characters. They're
He's
some
so
of
good.
my favorite characters of all time.
Oh, I have an honorable mention for At Our Table though. It's Tim. Anything Tim makes.
Anything Tim
Yes.
is like fucking gold.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so stupid that it's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, though.
And you gotta love him.
Dave Petrock.
Yeah,
Dave
Petrock from the
From the
orphanage. The fucking stroke.
Cannon, bitches.
And then the
fifth-
grung.
What
was
it? Jeremiah the bullfrog.
Jeremiah. Jerome. Aya.
Jeremiah.
I missed him.
I do too.
He's not dead, by the way.
No, he has a kid.
Yeah, life got in the way.
Me and
Yeah,
him had,
Tyler.
Me and him had very similar situations. We both had kids and never returned to
Well,
D&D.
let's not let him off the hook completely. He didn't come consistently before the kid either.
That was the marriage. He got married and then he stopped coming as much.
It's true.
So the second question is, what is a character
Oh, hang on.
that we want to play in the future? Or, I guess, class, right? I mean, whatever you want to play.
Well, why don't you go first, because it's been a while since you played.
Yeah, you got to have something bubbling up
Yeah.
there.
So, realistically, I
No.
just want to fucking play.
Yeah. But you have to have
like
at
a
least
fuck-
10
Yeah.
ideas.
No,
10
there-
ideas.
I don't have that many, but I do have one, and I'm going to get slandered for this. It's a barbarian.
There's no. What would you get
It's not,
slandered?
I don't even care what it is. Barbarian is the one class that I have wanted to play for so fucking
And
long,
just haven't got to.
but we always have one. And because I wait until the last minute, because I try to be as helpful as I can, I never get to play. Monk was the only one I feel like I got to play that I wanted to play because nobody else wanted to fucking do it. And I think that may be why I'm a little bit skewed towards liking monks as much as I do. The rest of them, I feel like I've always just kind of fit in, besides the homebrew dragon,
Draven.
race that I played. That was very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a barbarian in general. I want to play somebody dumb because I can fit into that perfect. I'm stupid
Turn
myself.
brain off. Swing ass.
Exactly. And just, I just want to hit shit
Lights
and have
are
fun.
on. Nobody's home.
That is me to a T.
Those are always fun, though.
You know, I don't have very many guys. I just, I'm scrolling through my D&D Beyond characters app part because, I just use it for NPCs, but I also do have like probably 6 different builds that I want to play. The one that I have already claimed, I'm like, fuck you. When Ethan DMs the next campaign, this is what I'm playing. It's going to be a halfling ranger / rogue. And I'm going to be a gloomstalker / scout.
Nice.
I'm going to be sneaky fuck. I'm going to have a super fun time because it's a class I've never really played outside of a one shot.
Yeah.
I've never played like a rogue really. So
Yeah.
I want to play that.
Sounds fun. And what do you got?
Well, I got two things. I'm really looking forward to random rolling another character to see what I get.
Understandable.
Because, I mean, I like playing into, like, I don't know what's going on. So, like, I like playing into that kind of chaos.
Yeah.
But as for a specific class, because the race doesn't really make a difference to me, I don't know. It's like, I've played so many that I could play any of them and be happy outside of Ranger.
Even with the updates?
Even with the updates. Having said that, I just really don't know. I don't have one that I'm specifically looking forward to, I don't think. Because recently I picked up Bard, which I never played before, and I made my Chaotic Evil character. So really that's what I would be looking into. It'd be like maybe Lawful Good.
Oof. You want to try that one for a change?
Well, that's two that I really don't think people should play.
This
and
Chaotic
I'm playing
Evil
them because I'm not
Good.
DMing them. So
because fuck the rules.
Yeah, I want to play Chaotic Good and see how long the party lasts.
You mean Lawful Good?
Lawful Good, yeah. Like, because everyone plays like Neutral Good, Chaotic Neutral, and Chaotic Evil. No, Neutral Evil.
Yeah. Neutral Evil.
Usually that's where they come in and play. So I think I'm going to try Lawful Good next. And if I'm going to do that, maybe a Rogue.
That is so contradictory.
That's the point.
Go for it.
It might be a Rogue. I might play like perfect. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to play a Lawful Good Rogue who is just, he's like an investigator.
Oh, yeah, you play like a mastermind?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Or Inquisitive.
Inquisitive, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I might play like an investigator, like a Sherlock Holmes type thing.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's really, I might be doing that.
It'd be
That
interesting.
sounds neat.
Then it just devolves into trying to solve murder mysteries.
I'm going to go home and make that now.
It's fucking. Next thing you know, that campaign's Scooby Doo.
I have to wear glasses or a monocle so I can put it in there whenever I reveal who did the murder, right? And it was me.
So are they going to be sunglasses so you can be David Caruso from CSI Miami?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably because puns are a big part of D&D. So
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. All right. So that wraps up everything for the starter kit episode and our 2 questions. And that actually wraps up season 2.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Soft clap.
What are we going to talk about next?
So next, we're going to go back into the media side of things.
Are we going to talk about Hot D?
Yes, we are going to talk about Hot D.
action.
We're going to talk about some ROP too.
Ooh.
We don't abbreviate that one. We just call it rings.
I'm calling it ROP.
Okay.
Look, George R. Martin
Like some WAP.
said it's called Hot D. So therefore, who am I to fucking say it's not called?
Fair
It's
enough.
Hot D, bitches.
Also, finish a fucking book.
He's working on it.
Oh, I get more
I
mad.
did finish a book.
Yeah. It's called fucking Fire and Blood, bitch.
I know. Finish more books.
Okay, it'd be Fire and Blood Part 2.
Yeah, I'm not buying it until the next Game of Thrones book comes out just on principle.
Yeah. So, as we finish up season 2, we're going to go more back into the media stuff. I know we're probably going to do Pokemon. Not probably. We're going to do a Pokemon episode. We're going to do a phase 4 and the other phases of Marvel, like 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Didn't we? I seen something about that. Talk about Rings of Power. Talk about House of the Dragon. This is me just naming off the planned things right now. We're going to do a Critical Role episode.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I think we're going to update the computer parts.
Yes, we were going to do an updated Build a PC episode.
Because all the news shit that came out.
Yep.
And there's even more new shit that came out recently.
Yep.
After we made that. You've already added that?
If you're talking about the AMD GPU.
I am talking about the AMD stuff.
I added it on there. The day it got
I'm
announced.
an AMD guy. What?
Okay, it was the movement that you made with your hand. There's one other, but what am I forgetting? Oh, the X-Men fan cast.
Yep.
We are going to do a fan cast for X-Men show. But that wraps up everything, and we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next one.